All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for coming in to the show earlier. If you were there and if you catch the replay, great. So if you have not seen the show, leave now, because this will spoil things for you. Alright, audio is good. What I want to do is go over a few things that have taken place here today. A lot of things have taken place during Worldwide, so we're going to cover quite a few things here real fast, because like I said, I don't know how many of you guys are paying attention to the Pro Boards, basically, which is now our official website, but a lot of things have gone down since the show has gone off the air, and we're going to address these issues right here, right now. One, Cody Collins officially accepted the challenge of the American Rebel, setting up a match for the two of them at the Night of Sacrifice pay-per-view. Now, you heard American Rebel. If Collins would accept his match, he would remove his mask. Well, Collins accepted it, so therefore the mask would come off at the pay-per-view. Now, going on from that, Bruiser Who stormed into the office of Joey Falcone, demanding that he get another match with Jose Ortiz. Now, as a result of Bruiser Who demanding this match with Jose Ortiz, he was denied the opportunity. Joey Falcone said, hey, look, you had your opportunity, you came up short. You know, it was a hell of an effort, but you came up short. As the television champion, you have other obligations you need to tend to. Bruiser Who, to his credit, said, you know what, Joey, I will forfeit the television championship if you give me another opportunity at Jose Ortiz and put it inside a cell. Joey Falcone, if you all know him, you know how he is, was very excited about this offer and proceeded to grant the offer, accepting the deal from Bruiser Who, effective immediately. Bruiser Who is no longer the ICW Worldwide Television Champion. That title is now being declared vacant. More on that here in just a minute. And Bruiser Who will be going to the pay-per-view where he is going to meet Jose Ortiz. That's right, this match is going to take place at Night of Sacrifice, and it'll be inside a hell in a cell. Now, Ortiz got the better of him today, but the reason why Bruiser Who demanded this match and demanded this particular stipulation is, for those of you who are not aware, Bruiser Who is technically undefeated inside Hell in a Cell. He has never lost a Hell in a Cell match. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to see Bruiser Who take on Jose Ortiz at the pay-per-view inside a cell. Now, to get back to what I stated earlier, I just said to you that Cody Collins accepted the match against the American Rebel. Well, he accepted that match while being loaded into an ambulance, ladies and gentlemen. He was taken to the local hospital for evaluation following his second low blow to the genitalia in 3 shows. When he arrived, it turned out that he was pissing blood and has other issues. The doctors have already, before the test results have come back completely, have already notified International Championship Wrestling, Joey Falcone, Bruno Falcone, Vinny Falcone, and the rest of the committee that Cody Collins is hereby on the shelf. He is not being cleared to compete anytime soon. That means Cody Collins will indeed miss the pay-per-view Night of Sacrifice. Now, this is coming off the heels of him accepting the challenge against the American Rebel to compete at Hell in a Cell. But due to the fact that this was out of his hands, due to the fact that Cody Collins was attacked not once but twice with low blows, Joey Falcone has let Cody Collins know this. The match with the American Rebel will still happen without him, but Cody Collins has now been given the right to hand pick a replacement to compete at Night of Sacrifice against the American Rebel. Word has it that at Night of Sacrifice, I don't know why you said that like that. Did I say something wrong? At Night of Sacrifice, it turns out that Cody Collins, again, will not compete, but Cody Collins' replacement, who he handpicks, will be taking on the American Rebel. Now, we all know the American Rebel stated that if he faced Cody Collins, he would unmask. Now, the fact that he's not... Hell in a Cell, that's fucking great. But now that the fact that he's not going to compete with Cody Collins, one has to wonder if he's going to back out of the said, I will unmask. Again, remember, he said if he faced Collins, he's not facing Collins. So we're going to have to see what happens as far as that goes. So now we know, at Night of Sacrifice, you're going to see Damage versus Shakona in a Hell in a Cell. That match is done. It's set up. It is booked. The High Rollers are going to take on the number one contenders. That's going to end up being the Second City Militia or the Jamaican Posse. We're going to see what happens there. Bruiser Who and a Hell in a Cell against Jose Ortiz. American Rebel's going to be taking on a hand-picked opponent by Cody Collins. Now, to get to 5-card stud Jeremy Rhodes. Okay. What the hell? What do you mean he did it again? I don't know. Shut up. You guys know my mind's not right. Now, to get to Jeremy Rhodes. It has been announced by Joey Falcone, right now by Joey Falcone, that due to his actions, Jeremy Rhodes will compete at Night of Sacrifice. And at the Night of Sacrifice, his opponent will remain a secret, as he will take on a mystery opponent. Yes, it's an Iron Man match. 60-minute Iron Man match, Shakona and Damage. But Jeremy Rhodes will be taking on a mystery opponent at the pay-per-view. And that opponent is going to hand-pick the stipulation moments before the match is when we're going to find it out. So as that match, basically, ladies and gentlemen, when the Tron comes on and you see Jeremy Rhodes' mug on the face, or his face on the Titantron, if you will, or as we're going to call here, the ICW Tron, you're going to see his opponent's face and the stipulation will be announced. Who is Joey Falcone going to pick to take on Jeremy Rhodes as punishment for low-blowing, not once but twice, Cody Collins, removing any chance of an Intercontinental Championship match being on the air at Night of Sacrifice? We lose the opportunity to see an Intercontinental title match. But Jeremy Rhodes will be punished. Cody Collins is going to handpick an opponent to replace himself against the American Rebel. Bruiser Who is no longer your television champion. He forfeits the title so he can take on Jose Ortiz. Damage is taking on Shakona. 60-minute Iron Man match. And that Bruiser Ortiz match is a Hell in a Cell. Again, the High Rollers are going to take on the number one contenders out of the Second City Militia and the Jamaican Posse. Ladies and gentlemen, and don't forget, Sapita Tiki won the 20-man Rumble today, and as a result was able to take the Golden Opportunity briefcase away from Kimbo Shakur. Will that come into play at the pay-per-view? So much going on, but now so many questions. Why would Bruiser Who give up the TV title to take on Jose Ortiz? With a loss, things could be, oh my goodness. And ladies and gentlemen, there's more breaking news coming about the pay-per-view, so stay tuned. I'm going to get to that here in just a moment. Number 2, Damage Shakona. Can either big man survive 60 minutes, regardless of who they're facing? 60 minutes at that size is going to be torture. It's going to be hell. And at a Night of Sacrifice, good googly goo-goo. Who is going to be the mystery opponent, mystery opponent, I can't get my shit right today, against Jeremy Rhodes? Who will face the American Rebel? Who? Okay, I'm not going to do all that. But ladies and gentlemen, now to some major breaking news when it comes to Night of Sacrifice. Everyone on the roster needs to hear this and hear this clearly. I will not repeat this anywhere else until the Night of Sacrifice pay-per-view. So those of you who did not catch this, that's your problem. For those of you who didn't see this, that's your problem. Now, when I booked the show, I am right now, will tell you guys, out of character, I have 6 matches wrote down on my sheet of paper. 6. That means I only got room for one more. One more match. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's going to be a part of it? I'm also going to debate if I can do a pre-show. If I can do a pre-show, it's going to be 2-3 matches, maybe 4 tops. We'll see. Again, it depends on my schedule with the wife's schedule. But I'm letting you know right here, right now, if your talent does not get booked for the pay-per-view in any way, shape, or form, whether it's the main pay-per-view or the pre-show, that means your character doesn't have enough going on within the company. That could be a combination of your fault, my fault, your fault, or your fault all by yourself because of inactivity. Your character is going to lose 25 points for not being booked at all. That's it. We're going to take the points away because your character don't deserve to be ranked as high as he may or may not be if things aren't the way it should be. And if people have a problem with this, by all means, you can share it with me and be honest with me because I appreciate the honesty around here. But that's the way I'm going to do this. Now, why is it going to be called Night of Sacrifice? It's real simple. It's going to be real simple, ladies and gentlemen. As you all know by the point system, the points are doubled at the pay-per-view. You can throw that book right out the window for Night of Sacrifice. Because I'm telling you right here, right now, it doesn't matter the match. It doesn't matter the stipulation. No matter who wins their matches at Night of Sacrifice. Again, I repeat, no matter who wins their matches at Night of Sacrifice are going to get 25 points. Okay? 25 points for winning. Okay? Now, we will use the ladder system points that night. That will still take place. That's part of the current ranking point system we're going to use. But here's where the big sacrifice is going to come in. That is to all you losers that night. If you are booked for Night of Sacrifice or the Night of Sacrifice pre-show, if I do it, any and all talent that loses, when you lose, you are sacrificing half your ranking points. That's right. Anyone who loses gets their points cut in half. Simple as that. Simple as that. So you guys know now. 50% done. Gone. Off your guy. It's a sacrifice, so you're going to sacrifice, alright. And that's what we're going to do at Night of Sacrifice. Now, I'm going to take the time to back out of this, and I will show you guys, in case you don't remember, the Night of Sacrifice arena. So you know where it's going to be, what it looks like. Just why not? As we're moving towards that pay-per-view, comes up in about 2.5 weeks. Again, it's going to depend on my schedule. I wish I could give you guys an exact date and set it. But here it is. As you can see, it says Night of. And then down here, Sacrifice. Night of Sacrifice. And there you see. This is your arena for Night of Sacrifice. It's going to be a hell of a night. That ring right there. That ring right there is going to see Shakona versus Damage. Look at this. This is insane. What an arena. Broken columns. We've got cages. We've got freaking crosses wrapped up. We got freaking cemetery looking freaking fences and flames and skulls and all kinds of craziness. It's Night of Sacrifice. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's everything that's going on. It's going down. Remember, all this information has been shared and been posted and being posted on your boards. If you're not familiar with the boards, get over there right now, because, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you right here, people are joining. We have 59 registered people now. 59 people have gone over there and registered. So there you go. That is the link. Get registered. Again, if you have more than one character in the company, register for all of them. All you got to do is hit the register button again, use the same email. Use the same email. And when you use that same email, create your new account. So when you then log in to post something, it's going to ask you which account you want to use at that time, and you just click on that particular account. It's real simple. It's real easy. If you're active and not booked, again, it takes activity. Just showing up is one thing, but you got to be involved. You got to be involved. And the Pro Boards has been making a very good opportunity for guys to be involved. You've got about 2 weeks to be involved. That's what these Pro Boards are going to be for. Guys can sell themselves one way or the other and really, create their own destiny, if you will. We, as a group here, myself, Ed, and Callum, have already said more times than once, we have creative control. But I will let you guys in on a little secret, and I wasn't going to share this with anybody. If you use the Pro Boards, you get a little bit of creative control. Because if you go in there and get into it with somebody else, how can we ignore it? If it's on the boards and it's something that's taken a lot of time out of your hands and their hands, and the community's watching it and it's becoming interesting, we can't ignore that. You've just created something and had creative control of yourself on the boards. So that is going to be fun in itself. That is going to be interesting within itself. I know I can't ignore it unless the shit don't make no goddamn sense. I'll be honest. I'm not going to go on the board and see Guy A and Guy B say, hey, let's form a tag team and go after the tag team champions, when Guy A and Guy B have no business even acting like they're allies. I'll kibosh that really quick. We just got to make sure it makes sense. And most of you guys, if not all of you, know what's going on. You know how to grasp this game. You know how to do this game. So I trust most of you to have some fun. And some of you guys are going to bring things to the table that I haven't even thought of, which is what I'm excited for. So Night of Sacrifice is right around the corner. So Ed, I believe, is going to try and do his pay-per-view on Halloween itself, the 31st. I believe Callum said the 22nd. I believe Night of Sacrifice is probably going to take place in between those two dates. We'll have to see. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up. And Darren, all I can say is just play it back real quick, buddy. A lot going on here in International Championship Wrestling, especially here on the Worldwide brand, because that's what this is all about. So with that said, I'm going to wrap this up. Remember, at Night of Sacrifice, world title on the line, 60-minute Iron Man, Damage versus Shakona. Jeremy Rhodes is going to be taking on a mystery opponent for punishment by Joey Falcone for costing him an Intercontinental title match, and the match that was agreed to by Cody Collins and the American Rebel. You are going to see the High Rollers defend the World Tag Team Championships against Jamaican Bahasi or the Second City Militia, depending on who wins that next match. Those two will be squaring off against each other. Bruiser, who no longer your television champion, as he's forfeited the title because he wanted a Hell in a Cell match against Jose Ortiz, and that's going to take place. And so much more is going to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end this stream here. Y'all take care, be safe, make sure you have that bell clicked, and again, get to the boards, and please, for the love of everything, register all of your characters that you have in International Championship Wrestling. Later.